Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. Join hosts Dan Melnick and Qasim Masood as they explore big ideas, limitless possibilities, and engage with visionaries, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders who dare to dream big, get inspired, motivated, and find practical tips for personal growth. Think big, dream bigger, and ignite your potential.
Welcome to the Think Big with Dan and Qasim. Today, our guest is Garima Gupta. Garima, how are you doing today?
Very well, and thank you for having me.
No problem. That's our pleasure. So, let us know where you live and what you do.
Well, I live in Toronto, Canada, and I'm the founder and CEO of Artha Learning.
Awesome. So, let me know a little bit about your responsibilities and like core responsibilities in your company, because a founder may have a lot of responsibilities, a lot of hats. So, yeah, let us know about your core responsibilities.
Absolutely. So, well, before I do that, let me just tell you a little bit about what we do. So,
Yeah, sure.
Artha is AI first learning and development training firm for workplace professionals. So, we work with our corporate clients, higher ed clients, nonprofits to support their employees or their customers in learning and development. And that could come out as content creation, interaction creation, workshops, whatever. So that is, we're a very boutique agency based out of Canada, work all over North America and a little bit around Europe. And I started this about 8 years ago. We do work across different verticals, across different topics. So we're not necessarily niched into, we only do compliance training or we only do technical training. We do pretty much everything, leadership training across the gamut. So it's a very interesting job. It keeps you on the toes and I'm actively involved in it. Over the years, I've moved, in my entrepreneur journey, I was way hands-on into projects first. Now I'm more focused on having the right people in the right seats, working with the clients, making sure that their vision is achieved. So a little bit more on marketing and sales, more around management and running the company itself. And I'm taking a very active role in our AI initiatives right now. We're doing a lot of groundbreaking work in L&D around how to use artificial intelligence to support people's performance. And that has been a passion project for the last 2 years.
Awesome. That's great. So I believe you are working on the educational side as well, like the awareness, where you are spreading awareness in end users. Because AI is a buzzword nowadays, and everybody is trying to explore as maximum as they can, obviously within their capacity, because there are some technical persons and non-technical as well. Technical have more insights about the AI than the non-technical persons, but still in terms of AI, like audience is pretty vast, and people are afraid of AI as well, and they are happy as well. So like there are mixed feelings within the people. So how you are spreading the awareness about it? Because as you said, like you are giving the trainings as well, and not just.
Yes.
So how you are handling this awareness part?
Absolutely. Qasim, that's such a wide question. I always joke that there are 3 reasons why people learn anything. 1, when there is an opportunity. 2nd, when there is a threat. And 3rd, when there is an internal curiosity. And funnily enough, that is all 3 of them, right? It is an opportunity, it is a threat, and it is just so exciting to learn about as well.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't recall when there was another thing or event which kind of covered all these 3 buckets of why people learn. And so, yes, there is a lot of interest. It's one of those technologies where, you find this discussion in boardroom as well as in dinner parties, on the road. It's just everywhere in every aspect of life, and fairly so. I read somewhere that the best comparison of how changing this technology is going to be is a little bit like electricity, that it powers different machines in different ways and can do different things for different people and different industries, but across the board, it impacts everything. And AI is going to be like that. So yes, there is a lot of interest. There is a lot of fear, anxiety. There is a lot of upskilling to be done, which is where I think the learning and development professionals, training professionals, the industry itself can play a huge role, because across the board, everybody needs to upskill. Today, it is an unfair advantage for people who are AI literate, AI fluent in their job roles. Tomorrow, it's going to be table stakes, right? So what we are doing about it is we're spreading awareness. I do a lot of workshops for different groups Just recently, I was at a hoteliers conference for Choice Hotels and talking to them about how AI might show up in their world and how that changes. We do a lot of work for the industry itself. So because it's about training the trainer so that the awareness can spread across organizations. So we are coming out with a certification for L&D professionals to upskill them on AI, and that includes everything, how to use AI in your workflow, which is applicable for everyone, but honestly also how to think about things like AI agents, how to think about the future, because this thing is changing like so fast. I run a workshop every couple of weeks, and every time I got to change something because like, oh, now there is this update and you got to talk about it. It's so funny. So yeah, it is a lot of hands-on, a lot of boots on the ground, running around, talking to people, doing webinars, doing workshops, but it is the need of the hour. And I think people learn also in very different ways. So there are a lot of these super motivated people who are absorbing a lot of content. And there is a lot of content out there, but also every organization also has this group of people who need to be formally trained in one way or another. They need to be shown the way, they need to be cajoled into trying AI because there is threat and fear. And of course, then there is AI strategy. There's just so many angles to this.
Exactly. But there's a difficult question now. Do you think there is any threat to any job at this point because of AI? Everybody is thinking about it because, this is a threat as well. This is an opportunity as well. I know there are a lot of opportunities. Like one, I can tell you right away that it created a new job of prompt engineer. Nobody knew that this something like prompt engineering. What is this the type of engineering? But yeah, this job is created and highly appreciated in the market. But on the other hand, obviously threats are always there. So what do you think? Where is the biggest threat because of AI?
Difficult question for sure, Qasim, but it's an important question on everybody's mind. A leading AI scientist was asked the same question, and he replied saying the safest job today for anybody to get into is plumbing. They're like, yeah, fair enough. That's probably something AI is not going to take over anytime soon. We always thought when robots will come and AI will come, we will not have to clean dishes and we'll not have to do laundry and we can spend our time writing poems, and it just flipped around on us. So there is definitely going to be a sea change in how we work. And there's going to be a sea change in how the human society operates, right? And none of us are ready for it. We're really seeing just a teensy-weensy part of this right now, because as things evolve and as AGI comes, artificial general intelligence, again, the jobs and the work, the definition of work itself is going to change significantly. What can you do for it right now? It's funny, I was writing this piece for a publication talking about we are preparing people for jobs that we used to say no longer, they don't exist right now. We have no idea. I have kids in college who are studying, and as they enter the workforce, we're not quite sure what workforce are they going to enter into. And people who are working right now don't know how their jobs are going to evolve. So you can be agile, you can be AI literate, you can keep learning, keep upskilling yourself. That's the best thing to do, kind of staying on top of it. It's a lot to ask, but I think that is what we need to do, is just kind of being hyper aware of where this is going so that we can move as a society in time. So definitely jobs are under threat as they exist today. Things will evolve. They're not going to just vanish, right? So that is definitely going to happen. But I want to juxtapose this with another point. We have to see this in connection with another point, and that is human society moves slower than technology does. And yes, technology is moving very quick, but our organizations, our systems, the way we live and work is going to move and change much slower than that. It is going to give us time to adapt as long as we are adaptable.
Makes sense. So out of curiosity, what was the biggest inspiration behind starting this business?
I call myself an accidental entrepreneur, honestly, Qasim, because I just kind of fell into it. I started off as a software engineer, moved into education, moved into corporate training. And then after a while, because training usually is cost center for organizations, and I wanted to be in a profit center, I said, okay, you know what? I'm just going to do it on my own and see what happens. And see what happens, basically the very first product or course I made for a professional development school ended up getting the gold medal from International E-Learning Association. And that kind of started an avalanche of things that happened one after another. So for the longest time, I was like, just do good work and that will get you from one place to another. So my motivation to growth has always been, happy clients, seeing our work get to end users and end learners and make an impact. Like somebody knows this because we created a course that helps them or helps the facilitators or helps the instructors, because it is one thing to know your subject matter and another thing to teach it rightly. All of us know, all of us have seen professors who are geniuses but cannot teach. So we are there in the background kind of helping those kind of situations, right? Supporting a learner to move from point A to point B. So that has been my motivation to grow. And then I think after a while, what happens is there is sufficient flywheel momentum where it takes on a life of its own. And then just building it becomes an inspiration in itself.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Awesome. So, Garima, what was? I'm sure you must have faced many challenges. In fact, every entrepreneur faces a lot of challenges. Every new day, there's a new challenge. So, obviously, we cannot cover all of your challenges in this session, but can you share one challenge with us that you faced and you were able to cope up with it?
Yeah, I don't think anybody wants to hear all my challenges either. There have been two, I think I would say there have been two defining moments in our journey so far. COVID being one. We were always a remote firm, so we didn't have those sort of existential issues. But in COVID, what happened is everybody moved to digital learning. And there was just too much of poor learning out there. It was emergency learning, and that kind of muddied up the waters of what good online learning means. And then we were there sort of, supporting a few of the institutes kind of immediately jumping onto this bandwagon. So that was an interesting time. The other challenge I have right now is in fact AI, right? AI is changing how people are going to learn, how people are going to upskill themselves, how are they going to, what does it mean to learn? What does it mean to have content or knowledge when knowledge is at your fingertips at all the time? So that's something where we are trying to be ahead of the challenge in a sense, and defining what this should look like for learners and for the industry.
Awesome. So, Garima, what are your short-term goals maybe in next 4 to 6 months?
We are a small team. We are a very boutique agency. We are about 15 people, 15 awesome people, may I say. Right now, my focus is creating and allowing them to be their best selves so that they can support our clients in the best possible manner. We are also trying to, in the next 4 to 6 months, one of my goals is to spread awareness of, because there is a lot of fear around AI integrated learning, things like AI coaches, AI role play simulations, AI providing feedback on, learners' questions and answers and those kind of things, AI assessing your paper. But we've seen that those threats are mostly misplaced. They come either from ignorance or from an abundance of caution. But that abundance of caution ends up harming the user experience to some degree. Yes, an AI chatbot can be sometimes wrong. Your instructor can be sometimes wrong too. Can we mitigate that? Can we bring in, as models improve, better levels of accuracy and unbelievably new engagement techniques so that people can learn safely, securely, at a scale, personalized learning at a scale that was never, ever, ever possible, right? So I can teach you something at your own time, in your own place, at your level, right? In a way that speaks to you, that helps you, that scaffolds you in your growth at scale. And I can do that for 10,000 learners at a time. Now, that's something that the industry is very anxious about, I think, cautious about, fairly so, because, very, very new vistas. And my hope is to continue generating awareness around what is possible.
Makes sense. That's awesome. Awesome. So, Garima, obviously, you must have some parameters to measure your success other than revenue, because revenue is the easiest thing. And I'm not going to ask you about that. So,
Thank you. I wouldn't like to talk about that on a podcast.
So, what are the parameters to measure your success, like the success of your business, basically?
We diligently measure client return rates, right? Learning content is the kind of work where people will come to us only when they need us. It's not a recurring business. It's not something that people will do for fun, because once you create training, it's deployed, it takes employee time, it is a lot of effort, it's a lot of investment. So for us, retaining our clients is extremely important, and we very, very fiercely focus on that, measure that. Yeah, and I think that kind of drives us
Makes sense.
mostly.
That's great.
Client retention and referrals.
Well, that's great. Awesome. So, Garima, what would be your biggest piece of advice for our audience who are the entrepreneurs who are struggling with the challenges, or maybe the ones who are dreaming to be their own boss?
That's a big one. I never planned to be an entrepreneur. As I said, Qasim, I sort of fell into it, and I wouldn't give it up for anything. It is such a joyride. So for anybody who is considering being an entrepreneur, I would say, yeah, if you're good with chaos and uncertainty and a little bit of, high BP once in a while, go for it. There is nothing like it. It is such a fulfilling thing to be able to support your employees, to be able to support your clients, to be your own boss. It's beautiful. Be ready for that uncertainty for sure. I think being an entrepreneur requires a lion's heart. It's not for the weak, but it's amazing. One advice that I would give, if you're getting into it or if you're already in it, choose your scope of work carefully. It's very easy to get mired down into minutiae, especially if you're running the business. As a founder, it's very important to kind of define your own job responsibilities and then work, basically leveraging your own strengths and farming out your weaknesses.
Well said. But yeah, this is difficult. This is pretty difficult.
I know, it's easy to give advice.
Oh, awesome. Garima, thanks for the beautiful advice. And then please let reviewers know how they can reach you if someone wants to reach you. You can share your website or the social media handles, whatever you want to share.
Absolutely. I can, another thing is funny is when I started my company, I was extremely idealistic. So I named it Artha, which means meaning, because we work on meaningful content. But now my first name is difficult to remember. My company's name is difficult to remember, but I can be reached at Garima at arthalearning.com, or find me on LinkedIn, Garima Gupta or Gigi. An easy way to find me also is our website is aiwithgg.com for our AI pieces, and otherwise arthalearning.com.
Great. Well, Garima, thanks for joining us today. I really enjoyed the conversation and I wish you best of luck. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Qasim. It was enjoyable to be here. Thank you for having me.
Likewise. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.